5 at-home anti-aging devices priced from $15 to $600, all promising wrinkle reduction, skin tightening, or collagen stimulation. Independent testing, class action lawsuits, and basic physics tell a very different story. We're counting down from the least to the most deceptive, and by number 1, the gap between marketing and measured performance becomes almost unbelievable. Let's start with number 5, a tool that costs pennies to manufacture. In 5th place, Jade Rollers and Gua Sha stones promise to erase years from your face with nothing more than a few strokes of polished mineral. The pitch is irresistible: an instant reduction in puffiness, a sculpted jawline, and, if you believe the packaging, a boost in collagen that rivals a trip to the dermatologist. Retailers charge anywhere from $15 to $80 for a single tool, while the true cost to manufacture sits closer to $2 to $5. That is a markup even luxury skincare brands would envy. Despite the claims, the science behind these stone tools is as thin as the packaging insert. The cooling effect of jade and the gentle massage can move fluid out of the skin's upper layers, creating a fleeting reduction in puffiness that lasts 5 to 10 minutes at best. The much-touted collagen stimulation is a marketing invention. A 2023 systematic review in the Journal of Cosmetic Dermatology found no statistically significant increase in collagen markers or long-term wrinkle reduction. Any improvement in skin texture is likely due to a temporary rush of blood to the surface, not a genuine change in the skin structure. Unlike high-tech devices that deliver measurable energy, these tools rely on nothing but manual pressure and wishful thinking. The FDA-cleared badge, so often displayed in online ads, simply means the tool is considered safe, not that it actually works. For all the ritual and routine, Jade Rollers and Gua Sha offer little more than a brief cosmetic perk at a premium price, setting the stage for even more ambitious promises further up the anti-aging gadget ladder. Number 4. At-home Derma Rollers promise to trigger collagen renewal with nothing more than a few passes of a spiked roller. The reality is written in the numbers. Most consumer Derma Rollers use needles just 0.25 to 0.5 millimeters long, while clinical microneedling performed in a dermatologist's office reaches depths of 1.0 to 1.5 millimeters. That difference is not just technical, it is the dividing line between superficial skin pricking and the actual dermal injury required to stimulate new collagen formation. A 2024 systematic review in dermatologic therapy found that home-use rollers produced, at best, a modest 15% improvement in wrinkle scores, and even that depended heavily on the user's technique. The review concluded that the mechanical limitation of shallow needles makes true collagen remodeling impossible outside of a clinical setting. The gap between marketing and reality has not gone unnoticed. In early 2024, a class action lawsuit in California targeted a leading derma roller brand for advertising clinical-grade results. The case settled for $2.5 million, with the company forced to strip that phrase from all packaging and ads. Most home derma rollers retail for $10 to $40, while a single clinical microneedling session can cost $200 to $700, an enormous price gap that reflects more than just convenience. Infection risk is another concern. Home users rarely achieve the sterile technique required to prevent bacterial contamination, contributing to a 15% return rate for irritation and adverse reactions, according to Amazon sales data. Derma rollers, by their very design, are physically incapable of matching professional outcomes, and recent litigation has made that gap impossible to ignore. Number 3. At-home radiofrequency wands straddle the line between a cosmetic letdown and a genuine hazard. Manufacturers promise clinical-grade skin tightening by heating the dermis, but independent thermal testing reveals a stark shortfall. Most consumer radiofrequency devices peak at just 33 to 38 degrees Celsius, well below the 45 degrees Celsius threshold required for collagen remodeling in professional treatments. That thermal gap is not just a technicality, it is the reason these gadgets, priced from $200 to $500, cannot deliver the visible lift shown in clinic studies. Instead, the sensation is often a gentle warmth, not the deep, targeted heating needed to trigger real change beneath the skin's surface. Yet the risk does not end at underperformance. In October 2025, the FDA issued a safety communication warning of burns and scarring linked to home radiofrequency devices. The agency's adverse event summary lists 7 reports through the end of 2025, cases ranging from first-degree burns to post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, usually after users exceeded recommended contact time or applied the wand to dry or sensitive skin. While the overall incident rate remains low, the possibility of lasting marks from a so-called non-invasive beauty tool is hard to ignore. This trade-off, too little power for real results but just enough heat to cause harm, lands at home radiofrequency wands in an awkward middle ground. Unlike stone rollers, which are limited by physics, or microcurrent tools, which are capped by hardware, these devices expose users to a real risk without delivering the promised benefit. As the countdown nears its climax, the stakes shift from wasted money to the possibility of permanent skin damage. Or, as Rachel, who posted her story to a consumer forum, put it, "I paid $400 for a facial burn I could have gotten for free." Number 2, consumer LED face masks promise clinical skin rejuvenation with a few minutes of red light each day. The marketing leans hard on phrases like FDA cleared, but the reality is buried in the numbers. Clinical studies that show real wrinkle reduction use energy doses between 5 and 9 joules per square centimeter, enough to trigger collagen synthesis at a cellular level. Most at-home LED masks, including bestsellers priced from $100 to $600, deliver less than 1 joule per square centimeter per session. That is not a rounding error. It is a technical shortfall so wide that the device cannot possibly replicate the results seen in clinical trials. Professional LED rigs used in dermatology offices cost upwards of $5,000, and they are engineered to deliver the necessary dose safely. At home, the hardware is deliberately underpowered to avoid regulatory scrutiny and minimize risk, but that same limitation makes the anti-aging promise little more than a placebo ritual. The deception does not end with the energy gap. Brands routinely conflate FDA cleared with FDA approved, banking on consumer confusion. Under U.S. law, a device that is 510K cleared has only demonstrated substantial equivalence to a predicate device. It has not been proven effective for treating wrinkles or remodeling collagen. The distinction is more than legal fine print. It is the difference between safety and efficacy. In 2024, a class action lawsuit targeted the Afrona Moonlight Pro Mask for advertising itself as FDA approved, a claim that violated both federal law and consumer trust. The settlement forced the company to strip that phrase from all packaging and pay restitution, but the misleading language persists across the category. Irradiance tests from independent labs confirm that the typical at-home mask delivers a fraction of the power needed for any meaningful biological effect. For all the talk of clinical-grade results, these devices are engineered to look the part while falling far short of the therapeutic threshold. The gap between what is cleared, what is approved, and what actually works is not just regulatory semantics, it is the core of the anti-aging device illusion. And finally, in first place, NuFace microcurrent devices embody the ultimate gap between anti-aging marketing and scientific reality. The promise is bold: a $200 to $400 handheld wand, clinically proven to lift, tone, and erase wrinkles, all in a few minutes a day. The packaging and influencer campaigns lean hard on the phrase FDA cleared, suggesting a level of scrutiny and efficacy that most shoppers never question. But beneath the surface, the numbers tell a very different story. Independent lab testing reveals that the actual electrical current delivered by NuFace devices hovers around 0.5 milliamperes, subsensory, barely perceptible, and most importantly, tens to hundreds of times lower than the current used in the clinical studies NuFace cites in its ads. Those peer-reviewed trials, often conducted with professional-grade stimulators, use 20 to 30 milliamperes, a magnitude that simply is not possible with the consumer device's capped hardware. That gap, 28 to 504 times lower, widely quoted in critical reviews, is not a rounding error. It is the difference between a device that could theoretically stimulate collagen and muscle fibers and one that by design cannot approach the thresholds demonstrated in the published literature. Despite the clinical grade language, no robust double-blind study has ever shown wrinkle reduction or facial lifting with NuFace's actual consumer models at their stated power levels. The device's FDA clearance is for temporary facial toning, a cosmetic indication, not proof of anti-aging efficacy. No public class action lawsuits have been filed against NuFace specifically for power misrepresentation, but the broader pattern is clear. The brand's marketing leans on studies its own hardware cannot replicate. The result is a device engineered for safety and for sensation, not for the transformative results implied by its advertising. In a marketplace crowded with ambitious claims and regulatory sleight of hand, NuFace stands as the most dramatic example of the gap between what is promised and what is physically possible. Across all 5 devices, one pattern stands out. Scientific jargon and regulatory loopholes turn wishful thinking into profit. The real power is not in the tech, it is in marketing that blurs science and hope. That's why skepticism, not the next gadget, is the smartest anti-aging tool we have.